So imagine that right there. We got Gideon. He's the son of a man of God who knows God, a child of Israel, Israel and all. And Gideon doesn't believe because he hasn't seen God do any of the things in the stories that he's been told. Just like when we tell these Bible stories to our kids, how many of them really see a manifestation of God, or are they just stories, like the tortoise and the hare or something else? These are just stories we tell our kids. Gideon heard all the deliverance that God had done, but look, he was hiding behind a wine press and they were living in caves. Where was God now? Where's the God of all those stories? Told that he was a great warrior and he didn't believe it, and finally he did. But he was given the instruction by the angel of the Lord to go into his father's house and tear down the altar built to Baal and build a real altar to God in your father's house. What I'm suggesting today, even as believers, we have altars in our homes that are not of God. We have altars to gods with a little g, things that we have bought into that are not of God, that our children have seen us partake of and be like, okay? They've seen the hatred, they've seen the lying, they've seen the abuse, they've seen all the things that we are doing that are not what we're supposed to be doing, and we've been blinded by these things, so much so that we have not even really consciously observed the negative changes in our lives. But I'm telling you, the kids are watching, the kids see it, they recognize. That's why they have no desire to be a part of what we're a part of, because they see the truth, because we've been blinded by the gods of this world. This emissary of God said, by the gods of the Amorites in whose land you dwell. Come on. We've bought into the gods. The gods in this land we dwell are the politics. The gods in this land that we dwell is the racism. The gods in the land that we dwell is the hatred and all that stuff. And we have excuses. Oh, we can kill this guy because he deserved it. We can hate these guys because they're gay. We can hate these people because they're Democrats or because they're Republicans. We come up with all these excuses, a sort of veiling the issues and the negative issues, the blindness that we have in our life, and we come off like we're okay. But Gideon's dad, who told them all these stories about God and the deliverance and all this stuff that God had done in their past, had an altar in his own house to Baal, which before even his son could walk in and be what God had called him to be, he had to tear down the altar in his daddy's house and build a correct altar to God. In essence, what this is speaking to is the gods that he was exposed to in his father's house had been so much a part of his life. Those gods in his father's house, in his mind, had to be torn down first. The negative influences that were not of God, that he witnessed and observed and partook in because he was raised in his daddy's house with these altars, with the God of this world, that he had to get that mess out of him before he could even be what God had called him to be, okay?